to Plant People. I'm here at Nalini's. Hello. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm so excited. Vidya, what are you making for us today?
Okay, so today I'm going to make you DOSA DILLA, which is one of our signature dishes. DOSA DILLA is our version of a Mexican quesadilla. So a traditional Mexican quesadilla has beans and some cheese. Our one is made firstly on a dosa. That's why DOSA DILLA. So dosa is a fermented bread, and we're going to fill it with some beautiful vegetables that is in season. So it'll be a real mix of potatoes, sweet potatoes, zucchini, peas, carrots, whatever is in season really. So we'll go and have a look. And then we're going to top it off with some really nice probiotic sauces, a date and tamarind sauce and a mint and coriander sauce.
Sounds amazing. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Awesome, thanks.
It all starts with the batter. So this has been fermented and it's made of ground rice and lentils. Vidya talks about this later in the video, so stay tuned for that. Onto her big hot plate grill, she uses a potato, which I've never seen before, to spread the rice bran oil. Now, rice bran oil has a higher smoking point, so it's really good to use for this kind of thing. So on the batter goes, and she's going to create a little bit more of an oval shape, and she does this by using the bottom of this, looks like a shaker. Now, this is better than using the back of a spatula as it creates a more even, rounded surface. That looks good. I'm very excited about this. I'm going to keep an eye on the dosa, and you can see it goes from looking really wet to slightly opaque as it starts to cook through. Look at that steam coming off. And this usually takes about 3 or so minutes. You begin to see the color coming through from underneath the dosa now. If we go in a little bit closer, you will be able to see here, look at that browning. It's going to be delicious. So Vidya doesn't always flip it, but for the dosa DILLA, it's good to flip it because it's going to have wet ingredients inside. So she's just going to flip it really quickly to make sure that all of the batter has been cooked through on both sides. Flips it back around, and here we go with the filling. So this is a coconut-based curry with lots of different spices, and as she mentioned before, there's sweet potato, there's carrots, there's chickpeas. I can see some delicious pepper in that, some capsicum. It's folded over like so, and then she just cuts it right here on the hot plate into those all too familiar triangle shapes. I can tell you what, the smell coming off this is delicious. So after she's plated it up, it's now time for the sauces, and generous amount too. Look at that. That's the mint and coriander sauce. And now the date and tamarind sauce goes on. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. It's then garnished with fresh coriander on top and a few black sesame seeds. Delicious. Na-na! Here it is. Dosa DILLA with mint and coriander and a date and tamarind sauce.
Well, due to the magic of television, that took no time at all. What an amazing process.
It is.
Can you talk just a little bit about the dosa, because it's actually a little bit more complicated than just simply making a batter and whacking it on a hot plate, isn't it?
Correct. So dosa is a real labor of love. So there's the soaking part, so where the grains are soaked overnight. Then there's the grinding part, where we use a stone grinder to basically make them into a paste. And the grinding it takes a really long time, because the grinder it goes in, there's a stone at the top and a stone at the bottom.
Yes.
And the grains sort of get fed through there, and it basically makes every single grain, it crushes everything. So and then it comes out really smooth like a tahini. That's the kind of consistency. And then once that's done, so that takes about 8 hours. So it is, let's say, overnight. So that's about 12 hours to soak, 8 hours to grind. So that's 20 hours already. And then it takes another 24 to 48, sometimes 72 hours to get the batter right in terms of fermentation, where it just does its thing. And also the fermentation depends on who is doing it, where you are. So many factors determine the perfect level of fermentation. So that's why what you get today, the batter that you get today was made like 3 days ago. But then it's for $5 that you pay for a plain dosa. There's so much love and effort that goes into it to actually get it to your plate.
So it's a bargain. It's like a food that's been made for days, and you pay $5 for it.
It's like a farmer basically growing the vegetables. So you know, you eat a carrot and you don't even think about the farmer, because you think you're just getting it from the supermarket. But the farmer has gone into so much trouble into, you know, planting it and cultivating it and finally harvesting it, and it takes such a long time for it to get to your plate, and you get it from the supermarket for like $2 for a kilo. So it kind of gets lost how much work goes into it, and dosa sometimes I feel like it's a bit like that, because you don't get to see the behind the scenes of what it is.
And this looks incredible. So let's try, and then I want to have a chat about it, because there's so much going on this plate. So we've got the dosa, we've got fresh vegetables in here, we've got chickpeas, there's a curry sauce. I'm so excited. In our interview, you talked about the 6 tastes. You get that with this. It's like
a real explosion of everything in there.
It's like every part of your mouth is like having a little it really, it is like a party in my palate. So the sweetness is coming from, this is the tamarind,
the date and tamarind sauce. So there's just so much going on in this plate, and other than the vegetables and the dosa itself, which lends to, you know, the sour taste and the vegetables, there's also a lot of spices that we use, and that's why I said it's never about compromising on taste, because spices are like, I could literally talk about spices for days and days and days. So other than the fact that they make food incredibly flavorsome, these spices are, you know, they're so strong in their medicinal value as well. And so that's where you get the feeling of really good hug, as if, you know, you've just received a nice big hug. And they're spices that sort of give you a kick in the back, if you want, to get you going. And then there's spices that make you just feel calm and cool. So the coriander does it, the fennel does that. So it's a real mix of all these spices that go into preparing one single dish that just makes you overall you'd say, oh, I feel good, but there's so many different layers to just feeling good.
You just said a hug for your insides. I love that. I'm going to hug my insides a little bit more. Thank you so much, Vidya. I'm so honored. I really am to eat your food each and every time. You can really taste the love in this food. So everyone, get here if you're ever in Sydney. There's 2 places. They're both in the eastern suburbs. Bondi, you've got on Hall Street, that's right. And then Bronte-ish on Bronte Road. Just look it up. Google will tell you. Instagram, follow this beautiful lady and all of the amazing things she's doing. It's at Nalini's Ayurvedic Kitchen on Instagram and Facebook, right? And also you've got YouTube.
Yes, coming up, more videos coming up where we talk more about the philosophy.
Yeah, awesome. What's that?
It will be just Nalini's Ayurvedic Kitchen.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You.
Thanks, guys. Tune in. We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Well, that's it for this episode of Plant People. Don't forget to comment, hit like and subscribe. And follow us on Instagram at plantpeople.tv. And if you are a plant person or you know any plant people, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.